friends. Welcome to another episode of Bobby's Popcast. I've got my friend Allison Daniell.
Hi,
She
other
is not
friends.
only an artist, but she's a journalist. She's got a really, really cool studio downtown in Old Colorado City. And Allison, tell people how we got in touch. Like, why are you here today sitting in my studio basement, by the way? I did not
would
force you to
love
come
to
here.
answer
I asked her. She came on her own free will.
true.
But why are you here?
I am here because several years ago I had an idea that I wanted to. I love listening to the radio.
Yeah.
I like the local feel of it, and I like the jokes, and also they can tell us about traffic and weather, which is great.
That's right. Temperature too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I several years ago was listening to certain radio personalities, and I was like, it would be so fun to do a story about them because I used to write for Springs magazine. I guess I
Cool.
still do sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was like, it would be so fun to see, like, what do these people actually look like? Like, I listen to them all the time, and I have a picture in my head. And you looked very different than I thought.
Really?
Which is great. Yeah.
So I have to ask, because I always got that from the radio. What did you think I looked like?
What did I think you looked like? I did not think you were a bodybuilder, so we can start there. You came in with this tank top and all these muscles. I was like, well, hello.
I guess you can't tell by somebody's voice how they really look unless you see like social media pictures or
No,
whatever.
totally. I don't know what I didn't think you were skinny or anything.
Yeah.
I thought you were just like a normal, healthy size and like, just a normal guy, but his muscles are big.
What about what about Woody? What did you think about him?
Woody, I thought probably was, like older, like
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
And probably gray hair. I pictured facial hair. I didn't picture any facial hair for you, actually. I thought you sounded very clean cut.
This is what I got. This
He's
is all.
got a little something going
This
on.
is all the Lord gave me back in the day. Yeah.
So anyways, I got on this path to want to do this story and just get to know these people and see what they were like in real life. And thankfully, I pitched the idea to my friend at Colorado Springs Lifestyle magazine, and she was all for it. So I have been working on it the last several weeks.
And you've been profiling radio personalities from all different backgrounds, all different genres of music. Shout out to Megan, who's my old co-worker and
She's
my
lovely.
future podcast guest. She does Cat Country 95.1, and she's brilliant. She's just a wonderful talent. So you got to profile me, and it's kind of like almost like life behind the radio microphone. Really is what the piece is
Totally.
about. You gave me some great questions,
Thank
you know, about like the music, and you asked me a specific question about who's my superhero or whatever, like who do I look up to? And I said He-Man.
You
And what
did.
was really cool is when you actually see the publication, which I'm going to totally post once I get the pictures from her. I brought my He-Man sword, and
did.
I have never gotten a chance to break out that bad boy. And like,
It was still in the box.
yes, it
Can
was.
confirm.
And it was heavy, right? It was like
It was
real.
heavy.
You could actually kill somebody with that He-Man sword, which I wouldn't. But it was really just fun to like take pictures with it. And your studio is just, it felt like I was almost like in a little slice of New York City and this really cool like
good.
loft atmosphere.
Good.
It felt so hipster and cool to sit down and talk with you, and the cool effects with your photography skills. I just can't wait. And I had the time of my life. So what I want to ask you is, what brought you into this world of kind of being an artist and a photographer? Like, how did you end up in this world?
Thanks for asking. I have been taking pictures since middle school, and you're a little bit older than me, so I don't know if you remember 110 film. It was like this skinny. It
Yeah,
was like this
I
skinny.
think so.
And I had a keychain camera. So it was literally like just slightly bigger than the actual 110 film. And it had
yes.
this little
Yeah.
flip up eyepiece, and I could take pictures.
That is so cool.
So I started there, and I used to walk to the drugstore and like drop off the film and then get it developed.
So from a very early age, you were like, I love taking pictures.
I did. Yeah, I really did.
What was the subject content as a kid back then? Like, what would you take pictures of?
Oh, just friends at school, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a picture. Everybody had like blue popsicles one day, and we're all like,
Yeah.
with our blue tongues.
Do you still have those photos?
I do actually.
I love
I
that.
do.
I love that.
And then
it's memories.
Yeah, it totally is. I think that's what it was back then. It was like, I want to like remember this. And then, and probably too, my dad died when I was 13. And so I think I became aware at a very early age, like how important it was to capture things and to like remember, because I only had like a very small handful of photos of him.
Yeah.
So I think that propelled me into it more. And
That's beautiful. Like, the personal tragedy from your life propelled you to take that art and keep going forward with it and use it for positive purposes.
Totally.
That's
and
wonderful.
My dad was great about it too. Like he always supported me making art as a kid. Like I remember he came to my I went to a fine arts camp in 4th grade. He came to the performance and we did our thing. And afterwards, I remember him saying, he's like, if you keep this up, you can get a college art scholarship. And I did.
Look at him.
From age 9, and I took 9 more years, like double my life. And then I got an art scholarship.
Look at your dad inspiring your path. I love that. I love that.
I know.
Well, I have to say, I'm just fascinated by other people's creativity and artists. I love meeting like painters and, people that sculpt, but like a photo artist or a photographer has always been, it's so fun because I told you one of the things that I have my background in was being in a boy band.
Yes, you did. I was very excited to hear that.
I'm a boy band survivor, if you will. But what's funny is we got a chance to do several, I would say, really high-end photo shoots where you've got the team and the lighting and the makeup and the lights. And I don't know if you ever remember watching the NSYNC video for I Want You Back. And they've got like the little wife beaters on. And behind them is almost like a photo shoot, like with lights and sheets and all that stuff.
Yep.
We did photo shoots like that. And I was like, that is, it's so cool. And I wish I could go back in time and like pinch myself because I'm like, that was an awesome experience.
Totally.
And,
you're like a celebrity.
Well,
I mean, you probably felt like one.
I did feel like one because it just, the requirement was you had to you almost have to be an actor when you're behind the film. And, listening to the photographer, I'll never forget the photographer that we worked with in Atlanta.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this.
Her name was Gemini. And she had one of those crazy, insane, cool Atlanta lofts that was just giant. And I don't know,
So nice.
It looked like a museum inside, 50-foot ceilings. You know what I'm talking about?
Good for you, Gemini.
Yeah, she was amazing. And I got to be her apprentice for the day. And it was one of the ways that we paid for the photo shoot because it was really expensive. Our manager was like, "You guys are going to work for this one."
It's kind of like paying to be a roadie.
Yes, exactly. I had to pay to be an apprentice, but I loved it because she helped me with the lighting and she I learned a lot by her process. And I'm like, I would totally love to do this, but I never picked up a camera, So,
you picked up one of these.
I did. I picked up a podcast mic and now I'm doing it visually. But I love the process and I just have so much respect for what you do. And what's your process like when you come up with interview questions? How did you profile with radio personalities, what questions you were going to ask?
That's a great question. I think I thought about what do
I feel like I'm doing the journalist thing for you now.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. What?
That's a great question. It's from the great state of Alabama, Allison, Daniell.
Hey, y'all. I think I thought about what were just some really fun random questions because it was local people. So I was like, what do you love about Colorado Springs and where do you like to eat brunch? Because mostly I love brunch and I like to hear other people's ideas. And I have learned a couple new places from these guys.
Yeah.
And then I also I love music. I come from a very musical family. My parents were opera singers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you sing?
I sing karaoke.
Okay.
And I'm a great harmonizer.
Okay.
But I'm not I don't think you want, I don't touch Adele when I do karaoke or anything like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to try to put you on the spot. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to harmonize. But I'm going to try this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to do, hello, darkness, my old friend. Do you know that harmony?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So here's the key. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Very good. Oh my God. Yes. That is a live exclusive on the podcast. You have a great voice. Oh my gosh. I could talk to you all day. You're awesome. So, but I just loved the notion of the questions that you asked me, how fun they were. And, when you asked me why Colorado, why I love Colorado, I said sunshine, mountains, and quality of life. Oh my, it's like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, because it was an homage to Dorothy. But that's really what I loved about this because I moved here when I was just on my boy band, so I was recovering from what felt like a divorce.
Boy band recovery city.
Divorced my boy band. Came to Colorado. I didn't have a purpose, or a path, I should say. And I just loved it here. And I just was like, this is my home. And now my babies have been born here and, this is their home. So I'm grateful to have two little natives in my home. Are you a Colorado native?
No, I'm from Tennessee, actually.
Tennessee.
But I just hit my 20-year mark here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what year did you move here?
2005, very early in the year.
What events do you do? If somebody wanted to hire you for services, do you do weddings? Do you do events?
Oh, yeah. yeah, great question. I take a few weddings a year. I have focused more the last 5 years on doing like second weddings, third weddings, just people that are getting married another time around.
I love that.
Thank you.
That is such an untapped market.
And
That
I
is
love it too.
Brilliant. Do you do divorce parties?
I would happily do a divorce party because I had one myself.
So funny.
But I also do a lot of events for the city, for the Chamber of Commerce.
Good for you.
A lot of places where, the governor's speaking or Yemi's speaking, but also other events where people are busting a move on the dance floor. I love those.
Okay. Give out the phone number so they can find you.
Okay. 719-322-4. 668. That got more complicated.
Okay. 719. 322.
4668.
Okay, that's where you can contact her.
That's right.
And have her for your private event or your third or fourth wedding or divorce party. What brought you into Colorado Springs market and kind of making this your home and where you do your artistry and craft?
Oh, my artistry?
Yeah.
I came here as a camp counselor, and I was living in Tennessee still, but I came out a couple of summers to work as a camp counselor at
Really?
Eagle Lake Camp. Shout out Eagle Lake.
Okay.
It's up in the Pike National Forest.
Beautiful.
And I thought it was the prettiest place I'd ever seen. And we're at 9,000 feet up there, so there's no mosquitoes, there's no humidity. And
Isn't
I'm
that
like,
nice?
coming from Tennessee, I'm like, I have found paradise.
And I'm from
Nobody
Atlanta.
knows.
That's where I came from.
Yes, so you know.
Very much.
I miss the lightning bugs, but everything else is pretty perfect.
I don't miss the cicadas every 13 or 17 years.
Gosh, I was playing soccer one year when they came out. They were just like in the ground.
It drove people nuts.
Yes.
But the heat is just something different in the South.
It
and
is.
I have to ask, do you have a Southern accent when you go back home?
Definitely.
Because so do I.
You do?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I reckon.
Love that.
Yeah.
I reckon too.
And we go to the Waffle House and we say y'all.
You get some hash browns.
And if somebody comes across you that you don't like, you say, well, bless your heart, disease.
And I'll be like, I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. But it's a thing because when I go back to the South, which is, gosh, I haven't been back in years. But when I do go back, I pick up the Southern drawl. And
Oh, yeah. It's so easy.
it is. And
love it.
I remember when I came to Colorado, this was such a cool place because a lot of transplants were here, people from all different backgrounds, and obviously a lot of natives here. But I remember being like, oh, wow, this person's got this background. This person came from New York, and I remember visiting Chicago because that's actually where I was raised. And then I moved to Atlanta when I was like 13. So half country, half city. And I remember one of the Uber drivers in the city of Chicago, he's like, where are you guys from? I was like, oh, we came from Colorado. I was like, but I was raised here. He's like, oh, man, I want to move to Colorado so bad because, he's Midwestern. And he's like, that's where I want to retire. So people love to be in Colorado.
It's so beautiful.
It is. It is. So if you ever get a chance to come out to Colorado, if you're watching the podcast from another area,
Come visit.
It's
You don't have to
beautiful.
move here. We're getting full.
I see the bumper stickers on a lot of people's cars saying the same thing. But yeah, so you do events, you work for the city, you do some crazy things. What's been the best part? I would say, what is the highlight of your journalism and artistic career as a photographer? What would you say? Or are there two separate ones?
Gosh. Yeah, they're definitely separate. I feel like journalism is more like a smaller piece of the pie for
Right.
me. And
It's totally separate.
photography
Yeah.
is big. Yeah.
So for journalism, what's been the highlight? Who's the best person you got interviewed? And you don't feel obligated to say no,
I do
please.
feel obligated. Well, I got to do a story for Springs Magazine about karaoke several years ago. So I got to just like go try all these places I had wanted to try. Everything from, like Mother Muffs to there's like a random hotel up in Woodland Park that does karaoke on Saturdays.
Really?
Great place to try new material because you're never going to see those people again.
Absolutely.
They're staying at a hotel.
Absolutely.
But it was just so fun to get to go try. I think I did 5 different places and then got to write about it. And of course I sang at every place.
So what's
I
your
like it.
favorite karaoke song go to?
Ooh, favorite. I have a list in my phone.
I do too. Let's go with 3.
Okay. Top 3.
Top
I like
3.
to do Gold Digger and I like to do
Fascinating.
I Would Swallow My Pride. I would Inside Out by Eve Six.
Okay.
Love that one. And I love Amy Winehouse. I do Back to Black or Valerie or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All top 3 go-to songs for me are from Shania Twain.
Wait, I want to guess.
I've
go,
already
girls.
planned it. That one.
Let's go, girls.
And just so you know, I changed the words to "Man, I feel like a Mormon." And then also, "I'm gonna get you good." I love that. I love Shania Twain.
I kind of wish it was "Whose bed have your boots been under?" But
Whose bed have your boots been under? That's a great one. And I also love to do "I'm having me a party." It's with Billy Currington, I think. That'd be a great duet. We should totally do it.
Oh my gosh, yes. We've already established we can do that.
We can harmonize, we can sing together. So that's, I think, a budding friendship there. But when it comes to photography, what's been the most, I'd say, cool project that you've done? Because I'm fascinated that you do like second and third and fourth weddings. I've never heard that before.
I have loved
unique.
And
unique.
The vows at weddings that aren't your first, they're very different than the vows that you make the first time.
In what way?
Around.
In what way? This is fascinating. In what way?
I will say I photographed a first wedding, and one of their vows was like, I vow to fill our home with laughter. And after you get married, you're like, what does that mean?
There was probably a lot of screaming and arguing.
Like also full to the brim with laughter, no room for any other emotion.
I vow not to throw things when I get mad.
And the second time around, I did this wedding at Garden of the Gods Resort in 2020, and they were almost 50, I think. And they said, I vow to keep working on myself so I can keep being the best version of myself to support you. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
That's beautiful.
Those are people who've done the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say the highlight of your photography career?
I got to do some work for Southwest Airlines, and that was pretty exciting.
Did they fly you out somewhere?
No.
Okay. You got to do
Thanks for asking. I had to drive to Breckenridge. They wanted photos. You know how like in the Southwest app, there's pictures of pretty places that you'll go to?
Yeah.
So somebody has to take those.
Oh, and you took the Breckenridge photos?
Yes.
So we can go on Southwest app or southwestairlines.com and find your photos.
Maybe.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that I think, is there anything else you'd like to add to the podcast? Since you're the special guest, the microphone's for you.
I love this city. I love being a part of the city. I love making it look good, and I love what's been happening here the last 20 years I've lived here. Well, I couldn't agree more. Like I said, sunshine, mountains, and quality of life. Oh my. So, but that's Colorado for us. Where can all the kids find you on social media? I'm on Instagram at Stellar Propeller Studio. I'm on Facebook at Stellar Propeller Studio. Your website is stellarpropellerstudio.com. Yes, it is. Well done. And I think that's it. I'm not on like X, Twitter, whatever. Elon's out. And pretty soon here, you can find our work together. That's right. In Colorado Springs Lifestyle Magazine. You said that He-Man sword. With his He-Man sword, yes, with my He-Man sword. And I actually let you pick my outfit. I brought a whole. I felt very honored. You know, Woody always used to make fun of me because anytime we'd have photo shoots or sort of video things that we'd have to do, I brought a change of clothes because I'm like, I don't know what the person wants. I like to get the feedback from the person I'm working with. And you don't know what Woody's going to wear either. You want to play off that? Maybe? No. I always know what Woody's going to wear. T-shirt and jeans. He's a one note kind of guy when it comes to that. And I love him for it. But for me, he always made fun of me. He's like, it's like a Cher concert every time you come somewhere. And he's not too far off because I do like to do. What's wrong with that? So you picked my outfit, which is very much of like an homage to my boy band days, Backstreet Boys. So I wore the jersey, have the jeans on, and I got to have my He-Man sword. So be on the lookout for that. Colorado Springs Lifestyle Magazine. It's a publication, and that comes out in April, right? That's correct. Okay. Do I get like an advance copy or something? Of course. Oh gosh, I'm so excited. Have anything you want. I'm so freaking excited. Well, thank you to Allison Daniell, owner and operator and artist from Stellar Propeller Studio, for being on the podcast today and gracing my show. I'm so grateful that you were here. I got to be in your publication, and now you get to be on mine. I know. Share the love. Reciprocal. There you go. All right. Thank you for watching another episode. Podcast.